Hey everyone, welcome to this radio hangout. We're going to tune the bands in this shortwave hangout. This is not an official hangout, so don't worry. This is something that I've decided to do today as I am home tuning the radio bands and listening to the radio in general. Even listen to some VHF, UHF stuff using my little ICOM ICR20 portable. So I'm going to tune the bands, and of course I will be commenting on what we hear. Let's try out starting maybe at 9 megahertz. It's still a little early here for lower than that. I'm not sure this is going to be, for now it's not necessarily that good below 9 megahertz. So let's start at 9, go up slowly.
Things what you see. We're not made of things which do appear. By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he, being dead, yet speaketh. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because God had translated him.
So this is WINB in the United States.
Without faith, it's impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must.
Now, Dr. James W. Bergman delves into the subject in great detail and shows in layman's language how the Bible answers these and other critical questions. If you have wondered just how sovereign is the God you worship, you will find that
this is WWCR in Nashville, Tennessee, USA.
Here's an excerpt from Dr. Bergman's preface.
Hello, Andre. Hot Radio 6735. Yeah, I've made the link with that handle when I received the email or the YouTube message that you had it in the email. Welcome to this hangout. Tuning the bands. We'll try to receive stuff. You guys in Europe, by the way, should have Radio Serbia in English on 6100. 6100. It's still too early here to receive a frequency like that from Europe. In the winter we do, but at this time of year we don't anymore.
So please prepare to take it.
This is All India Radio, 9445 and 11670.
Every 4 children have survived the tragedy, last week treated at the hospital for third-degree burns. The European Union has asked political leaders of Nepal to work constructively for the absorption of a democratic and inclusive constitution at the earliest. An official statement issued by the EU delegation in Kathmandu yesterday said that EU Parliament delegation has encouraged the political leaders of Nepal to work constructively for the adoption of a democratic and inclusive constitution. China has denied that it will completely roll back its 3-decade-old one-child policy and permit all couples to have 2 children from next month. National Health and Family Planning Commission spokesperson Tom Sweeney said at a press conference that the family planning strategy should be maintained as the size of the population puts pressure on resources.
Hey, Recat 5E, welcome to the Hangout. Yeah, you're right. These Jesus stations, they're just so many of them on shortwave, unfortunately, you know. Hey, Richard, welcome. Says today with the rain, it's a good day to tune shortwave. Yeah, even if noise levels are exceptionally high today. Mine are pretty much the same all year round. I haven't had that much higher noise. Actually, it's even a little lower, I'd say, today. Maybe because it's early and nobody's home. But yeah, with the rain, it's rainy here today, and with the rain, it's perfect day to listen to shortwave. So 9445, All India Radio.
Worthy that you would want to continue to move us in the direction of the righteousness that we seek. So we just pray and we think before we stand firmly on it. In Jesus' name. Amen. Well, let's see.
WTWW in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Shed a little bit of light on what we were going to try to do here in 2015 was to try to specifically target with our prayers.
Oh, cool. So you got to repair that radio.
Basically,
it's nice.
That we've got surrounding us, and we began with.
It's the same receiver. By the way, the TS450 is the Kenwood 5000 is the receiver part of the TS450, and I've owned one. I've loved the receiver. The Kenwood 5000 was a fantastic radio.
Lord touches them with and
Broadcasting Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Hey there, Paul. PD1 PME is amateur call sign from the Netherlands. Welcome to the Hangout. Two guys from the Netherlands together. You know, I don't know if it's me, but sometimes I have the impression that some countries have a higher representation of amateur radio and shortwave listeners. And one thing that I noticed once is that when there's amateur radio contests, the number of amateur stations from Spain is incredible. And I'm always intrigued, and I'm always thinking, wow, is there more amateur radio operators in Spain than most other countries? Or it's just a coincidence? Hey, Mr. Roberto Rodriguez, welcome to the Hangout. Nice to see you again. Yeah, on 6100, there should be Serbia, but let me just check here. 6100 for you guys in Europe. One possibility over Serbia would be that it's possible that you guys hear China radio in Mandarin actually interfering because they're on the same frequency. And on that frequency, I'd say that propagation is probably open from Kazakhstan, so it's probably propagating from Kazakhstan to Europe. So it's probably interfering with Serbia on 6100.
más allá de la situación de acoso, persecución, cárcel, limitaciones que viven los opositores. El pueblo en general, aquel que no forma partido político, no porque no quiera, sino porque tiene miedo. ¿Cuál es la situación de ese pueblo? También tiene ese acoso y también tiene esas limitaciones.
This is Radio Marti from the United States, and I can hear the white noise of the Cuban jamming over it, actually. Welcome, Andrew, from Berlin. Nice to have that 20 degrees. You know what? We are going to probably have our first 20 degrees this week. I saw in the long-term weather that starting tomorrow and especially Sunday, we're getting into the 15, 16, 17 degrees. And I think it's on Wednesday. I've seen something like 18 and then a 20 or 19. So the warmer weather is coming. The snow is still here, but you know, it's most of it is gone. So I'd say that in if it's, you know, nice like it is, in a week and a half here in Montreal at least, snow's going to be gone. It's a big difference though. You know, Montreal and just a little bit north of us, they are still in the heavy snow, and they even had like more snow yesterday and the day before. But it's generally warmer here in Montreal because we're in the south of the province of Quebec. But you know, warm weather is coming, so it's cool. Nice to see you, Andrew. Oh, thanks, Andre, for talking about the hangout, the HF Underground chat. Really nice. You know what? For an unannounced hangout, I think we're breaking the record of how many people are watching right now. You the lucky guy, 22 in the Netherlands. Wow. Can't wait. You know what? I can't wait, but there's one thing that I don't like. I just don't want, you know, 30 plus degrees here. The problem is in July and August, we get 30, 35 degrees. Weird. It's like tropical. And I like it, but, you know, not too much. Hey, Dennis, welcome. Says he's got his radios fired up. Hopefully band conditions are better than they were earlier. Yeah, you know what? We had a minor magnetic storm today. The K index was 4 a little earlier, but I can still see the effects a little bit because I noticed that a lot of signals are a little trembling. But overall, propagation seems to be quite good. So hopefully we'll be tuning great signals together. Hearing a Voice of America French on 9675 kilohertz. Not coming from Botswana in Africa. Just barely making it above the noise here. Voice of America from Botswana. Yeah, you guys in Europe should have All India Radio with a pretty good signal. Yeah, you know what? It's fun, Andrew. I do the same thing when it's really nice. You know, I bring along a shortwave radio and sometimes go sit just. There's a park, you know, about 5-minute walking distance from here. A pretty big park, and I'll often bring along a portable shortwave receiver. and find myself an empty bench where I just sit down and listen. And usually bring along a pair of headphones. And it's always, interesting to see these people walking by and looking at me with my radio and just wondering, what am I doing here? Hey, my friend, Radio True North, welcome to the Hangout. Nice to see you again. Big QRM on 40 meters, ham band in Western Europe, 7050 till 7065. Probably OTHR over the horizon radar or something. Huh, that's interesting. The signals have definitely that little signature of geomagnetic storming, because when they tremble, one trick that I often find is that, and that I've observed over the years, is when there's some, unsettled activity in the geomagnetic storm, signals that are really stable tend to fluctuate very fast. So they have this little trembling in the voice, and you can see that the S meter is like going crazy in a very, very good speed. That usually means that there's some, propagation disturbance from aurora borealis and from geomagnetic storming. Yeah, here it's a little early. Usually at this time, it's still at this time of year. It's kind of early for the pirate bands here in North America. I'd say propagation for the pirate band and even activity is more around 20. I'd say 2300. Especially now that days are getting much longer. Now we have, the sun is now setting almost at 7:30 p.m., which is getting later and later, and it's fun to have all that, extra sunshine.
من هذا التعريف سننطلق. مكمن طاقة العالم. سنتعرف على الأهمية الاستراتيجية للثروة النفطية محليا، إقليميا ودوليا. هذه الأهمية لا تتحقق إلا إذا تم استثمار هذه الثروة.
9870, great signal from Saudi Arabia. You know what? That shows that propagation to these areas is pretty good. Saudi Arabia is very strong here. By the way, talking about Saudi Arabia, I tried Radio Kuwait today, wondering if they were on the air, but they still seem to be off. I tried 15540 at 2000, and there was nothing, absolutely nothing, not even a little weak signal. So they seem to be off for their English 2018 to 21 UT. So hopefully they'll come back soon. It's one of my, it's not that it's one of my favorite, because there's a lot of pop music on Radio Kuwait. But it's Kuwait, and sometimes I'll tune the 15540 frequency for in the summer afternoons, and just let the pop music play. And they do have some interesting little programs also, but no, they're still off. So I guess they didn't fix the transmitter yet.
ولا ننسى أيضا أنها كانت نسبة للعديد من الحضارات وصلة ربط بين الحضارات التي جاورتها أو اتصلت بها.
إن الركن الأهم في تميز
Oh, really, Dennis? You know what? I've heard mixed results of MFJ products. Some MFJ stuff is good. Some MFJ stuff isn't that, interesting. Um, it depends on a lot of factors, and we buy these things because the descriptions and what they say is, promises that will have some really, improved propagation and so on. And I think they have some good stuff, but it depends what you want to buy, and it depends also what you buy and what you want to do. You know what? In a noisy environment, I've often found that active antennas aren't really fantastic. They rarely really do a great job, and they do a great job in bringing in more noise. But I'm having a beer also, Andrew. I bought decided that because I'm doing a hangout, I went to the grocery, and while doing my grocery, I said, hey, why not buy a little beer for the hangout? So I bought this blonde beer. It's a nice little beer. It's a strong beer, though, 8% alcohol. And I saw some really funny beer. One that I might actually buy for the next hangout, which was called a reckless beer. And I just found it so funny when I read reckless beer. Oh, I didn't know about that, Andre, about the Andrew Yoder's Pirate Radio Yearbook. So there's the latest version available. Oh, I'm going to check that, and that could be an interesting buy, actually. No, I have some hammered radio operators that actually were talking about MFJ products a few weeks ago. They had ordered some MFJ stuff. And you know what? It was really a mixed bag. Some of the operators were saying that they really loved the product that they got. And others said, you know what? Didn't seem to work like they wanted. So it could be some kind of quality control problem. You never know. It's like the Grundig S450 DLX that I love. I love that radio. Nice big radio. But the number of people that said that they returned it because it was junk on the comment section below my video made me wonder if they didn't have maybe quality control problems. Because a lot of people seem to say, well, it was deaf. Well, mine's not. And mine's actually very, very nice. And been, more than a year now, I guess, that I bought it. Not 2. And I love my Grundig. So, maybe it's quality control. Quality control is not always what it is. Okay, Radio True Note. I will be checking that out for sure, and I want to see that book. I'll be checking that out, and I'll be ordering one for sure. I'll be talking about it at the in one of my videos. I didn't know it existed. There's one thing that I miss on the pirate radios is that well, many years ago, it's, at least before I made videos on YouTube, which goes back to more than three years, if not four. Um, in the time when there was MSN Messenger, I had in my MSN Messenger contact lists many pirates from Europe and a few pirates from the US. And it was really cool because we'd kind of, make advanced notices of broadcasts from pirate stations because I knew them. And you know what? It was fun because since I had them in my contacts, when they would do pirate stations, when they would air their pirate station, I was notified immediately because they'd see me online and they'd say, "Hey, I'm on the air on this frequency. Can you hear me?" One of those, by the way, is in the Netherlands. It's Cupid Radio. Cupid Radio, I've heard so many times, and man, I've got a lot of Cupid Radio stuff here that he sent me. Pictures, QSLs, all sorts of documentation that he made. And it was just, a lot of fun. And so I miss that time when I had all these people around, live, so I knew when they would do something. Because I was, always getting these notifications immediately when they would actually go on the air. Okay, Radio True North, I'm going to send you a little email, and all you'll have my email in return. Anyways, I'll send you the email through officialshortwaveradio@gmail.com.
But we're not going to go there. That's a bit complicated. We're going to deal with a perspective that we can actually explain.
Voice of America English from Sao Tome in Africa. So 9885 Voice of America. They have a 30 minutes, so they're about to end now. It's Monday to Fridays.
What do you think about the fight? Do you see me?
I do, and it makes me feel amazing to see you.
Okay, and I see you
But
too.
it makes people experience the person you've heard of them.
Okay.
Yeah, the NS 9870 was really strong. It's an amazing signal here in North America. Shows that when you have a good transmitter with a lot of power in it, you can really, send that signal. Andrew says, CRI in English, good signal, 9600. Thanks, cheers, you too, and I will enjoy my beer. Yep, I hear CRI, 9600 also. About S8, S9 as you see here.
Why is it that people don't feel they need to put their dog on a leash? Why is it that people don't feel that they need to pick up after their dog? Or just after their food, or just keep them pee everywhere? I think those are some of the bigger issues. And they're cultural problems. And there are laws.
This is from the Kazakhstan relay station. So 9600 China radio, English. That's to Europe, but it's propagating up to here. And that comes from Kazakhstan. Hey, Mr. DeVaults, welcome. And yeah, you know what? I am a little, I'd say that I'm I would love to go and do some radio in Europe. You know what? Because you guys have a lot more, not just illegal activity, but all sorts of pirates and all sorts of stuff. And even, in the shortwave transmissions, you guys have relays of Voice of Mongolia and stuff like that we don't have in North America. So I'd love to go to Europe for, you know, at least a few weeks to listen to the radio there and, you know, have a feel of how it is. It's pretty cool because, you know, with the 20 receiver, the WebXDR receiver, at least I have a good, you know, feel about what's to hear in Europe. But, you know, I'd like to be there with a radio, maybe even with a radio like this, and tune around the bands, and who knows, maybe meet some of you guys and say hi in person.
The regional rankings of Chinese people's fighting capacities, which share similar results that
Dennis, I'm using my 50 feet outdoor wire in my backyard. Do you hear CRI on 9600? It's possible that you might not hear it because you're a little more west than I am, and it's not that strong here. So.
A little bit of that. I want to see how this is being right first. So usually it's the length of time that a verbal argument turns into an actual fist fight. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I love that methodology in terms of calculation because I mean it doesn't make so much sense because people get into arguments and try to all the time over stupid.
Yeah. Okay. Radio True Note. I'll do that. By the way, in the next hangout, I'm going to try something. I've set up an account with IpChat, and I've created in my IpChat account a thing called Shortwave, which is a chat room. The only thing that is required for you guys to be there is simply to create a free IpChat account. It's totally free for what we will use because they have a paid account, but seems to be totally free for what I want to do. And I'm probably going to let it go. So it means that anybody that I've accepted in the chat will be able to just join the chat anytime, not just during Hangouts, but it's going to be like a general chat, shortwave chat room. That's going to be like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week kind of thing. Andrew, you know what? CRI, I think CRI uses the maximum of power that they can on any transmitter they use. From what I know, they pretty much every transmitter that I've seen from CRI pumps out 500,000 watts or 500 kilowatts. So, you know, it's always easy to listen to. So Dennis, CRI is below the noise floor. Yeah. There's one thing that I hate about 31 meters. I do have a high noise floor also on 31 meters. So that's a little problem there. Oh, really, Andre? You know, Cupid Radio? Yeah, he's got, and the frequencies he's using also, because, you know, most pirates are in specific pirate frequencies. What I like about Cupid is he's all over the band. So for one time, I remember once when he was really, really active, almost every Saturday he was on 15070. And last time I've heard him was last fall, and he was on the 13-meter band, 21470 or something like that. It's been a long time since I've heard from Cupid. He was so happy, you know. I sent him an email to let him know that I listened to him, and I had not sent an email to this guy for a long time, and he replied back with, like, you know, pages of text talking to me about how things changed, that now he's got children, and well, you know, it had been a few years since we had contact last time. And another one that I've heard, I'm trying to remember, he was, man, there's another guy, I can't remember what pirate station it was, man. There's another guy that was really powerful too, and when he was live on the bands, we would do a video chat on the MSN Messenger, and I could show him live what his signal was like in Montreal. Man, I forget what name, but he was about at the same time Cupid Radio was very active. That guy was also very active, but I just forgot his name.
On purpose, but then that's the thinking that happens so often. But then, kind of going back to the regional ranking, I think it is quite interesting how this is ranked. But also, what is I think is most interesting is that it's in the
Yeah, sometimes that's the problem. You know, it's like eBay, buying stuff on eBay. There's a lot of stuff that's nice, but you look at the price, it's cool, but then you look at the shipping charges, and it's like, whoa.
And I think it's quite funny when you do this kind of, admittedly not very fair and stereotypical kind of brushing the image of people from different continents. But we get a little degree of truth. No matter that if it's funny.
Oh, really? I've heard you once, I believe. I'm trying to figure out, but I think I've heard you, if I'm not mistaken.
very lighthearted, giving us, someone asks the question to different people.
Exactly. But I think it might be taken the wrong way because usually these rankings.
No, it's man. What the hell was the name? I'm trying to. It's really making me go crazy now. Trying to figure out the name of. All I remember was a big. The guy was like a big guy, bald. Man. Try to remember the name, but I can't, man. It's been too long.
And being modernized.
Do you think there's a way forward for Nigerian football?
There's a way.
BBC from Ascension Islands, 9915, coming in quite well. S9, almost S9 plus 20 at times. 9915, the BBC from Ascension Islands.
There's so much interference in things. This one is interfering with the other one's job. This one is interfering with the coach's job. That one is interfering.
Oh man, you know what? eBay, since the Canadian dollar dropped so much, it's not interesting anymore. The Canadian dollar lost like almost 30 cents towards the American dollar. So now everything that's on eBay is just so expensive.
Yeah, is a problem anymore.
Yeah, Alpha Lima. Yes, that's it.
Club-wise, every time, you're back in France now. Every time we're reading the papers, it's always everyone going to Liverpool and everyone going to West Ham. What have you heard since then? For now, I'm not talking about leaving.
Yeah, it's possible, but
Lilies like my life.
I think I've heard you, but I don't remember.
I think it's one of the best. For me, it's not the best. For me, I think it's one of the best leagues in the world. They have their own style of football. It's best because they've got all the TV coverage. It's best because they've got all the hypes. The hype is best because they've got everything. But for me, I'm not one of those that wants to force a move to the Premiership. I'm fine with it. I'm a man that is contented with whatever he has. I have a little to eat with my family. I'm fine with it. I have much. I am happy. That's me. I'm not now one that I must play in the Premiership. I must play in the Premiership. I must play in the Premiership. No, I'm not that one. Yes, I will wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Nigeria goalkeeper Vincent Nyama speaking to World Football's Oluwashina Okeleji. Now, one of the breakthrough stars at this year's Africa Cup of Nations was Ivory Coast Eric Bailey. Comfortable in possession, quick, strong, the 20-year-old defender seems destined for great things. Bailey is currently playing his club football for Villarreal, and he's told Football that despite reports linking him with the move to various clubs, including Manchester City, he wants to stay.
Now, Alpha Lima was part of my contacts also, and he was one of the guys that we would do some live video on MSN Messenger when he was on, because he wanted to see what it was like, and we had a lot of chats on video feeds. It was really fun to have, you know, these live feeds with all these fire stations. It was really, really cool. I was more active on shortwave in that period than I am today. You know what? I am active today on shortwave, but I've scaled down a little bit with all, you know, with all that I do, my work, and try to you know, get time to do everything I do, and I need something like 48 hours in one day. M5EDC Duncan 9915 coming through weak in the UK using telescopic antenna. Aha. What's the receiver you're using? Telescopic antenna, my friend. Sorry if I'm not responding to everyone. I'll be trying to respond to everyone. I'm just blabbing away right now. Aricat 5E, did you extend your wire yet? Still too much snow in the back. Here, and you know, if I look at the streets, the snow is not too, there's almost no more snow, but in the backyard there's still a lot of snow, so it's not yet time for antennas. Two things I want to do: really make that wire, I want to change the orientation of my long wire, first of all, and second of all, I want to put back up my 102-inch whip, CB whip antenna. For one reason, is that I want to have, you know, possibility to use my CB if I want to, first of all. Second of all, there are some advantage to using it on some frequency bands, especially when I go higher. Okay, Duncan's using a Texan PL880. Thanks for the reply. So nice to hear. I want to be a pirate. You know what, Aricat 5E, I want to be a pirate also. If I had a transmitter, I think I would be a pirate. Richard's saying that he's using a dual display atomic clock from the MFJ 121B. Says it works perfectly, but he says that some MFJ projects are less than perfect, however. So, you know, kind of goes in the way of what I've been hearing. Yeah, 11635 number stations, Aricat 5E, is Cuba. I'm hearing it right now. It's not very strong, though. Yeah. Yeah, Cuba. It's not very strong, though. I hear it's stronger than that usually. 11635 is the Cuban spy number, my friend. I'm hearing it really weak. Question on your DSP unit. I know that it has a speaker in the top. How does it sound? I would imagine you would use the other extended speaker you have. Yeah, I use the external speaker here. That speaker doesn't sound bad, actually. But because it's on top, it's not perfect. But you know what? Maybe I can try to do something here without breaking anything. If I remove Is this the good one? I think it's not. I'm going to put that back. I'm going to try to do something. Okay. There it goes. So this is the same. I'm going to put back BBC. I'm going to put back the BBC. And this is from the speaker from the top here.
She began by remembering the first time she played in a proper club match.
I'm actually speechless. I don't know what to say because this is
A little problem with the connector here. The power connector is no good. Here. There it goes.
But then all of a sudden my mom just said, okay, fine, go. I think this is from now where you say your son. I just go, okay, I wore it. The first thing I did was take the last pictures, send it to family, and since this is my first time in Brooklyn support from a really ground with referees, with a lot of people. I can't say what it was, I was really so excited, happy. My feeling was that I was the only minority.
I'd say that if I, it's kind of hard for you guys to hear the difference in the camera, but because it's the audio of my cam. But I would say that the audio of this speaker is much nicer, more bass, more frequency response than on the top of my, than the one it's on the top here. But you know what? If I didn't have any speaker, it would be not that bad actually. It is better than the speaker from the Icon itself. The speaker from the Icon is, I'm sorry, really bad. It's one of those horrible speakers. But this is not bad. But I do prefer this speaker. It is much better. That's for sure. Let's tune a 25-meter band. Check out what we can hear at the same time. A lot of questions, a lot of people commenting. What do we have here? Hey, Scott and 5XTC. As Scott says, when you get something that works, it's good. Sometimes it takes several tries to get a working version of whatever. So, that means that their quality control is probably a problem in MFJ. And, it's sad because one of the things that I've remembered is I used to see the ads of the MFJ products in the monitoring times. And, a lot of the products I wanted to buy. They seem really cool. Hey, Lyndon Price, welcome from San Diego. And yeah, but you know what about Spain? That is always something that I'm a little that surprises me. Every time there's contest, there's like 10 million other stations from Spain, much more stations from Spain than from any other countries. It's just so funny, except the U.S. The U.S. dominates the amateur bands, but if you take out the U.S., I'd say that in Europe, 3 countries are a lot of amateurs, and it's Spain, Germany, and the UK. Hey, Mark Smith from Maine, welcome. And he's drinking a Diet Coke, and that is just fine. You know what? It's really good. Actually, I don't like the diet one because I don't like the taste of it, but there's nothing better than a Coke with, a slice of pizza. Jason Younger, welcome. And says, here from the Web SDR website. Cool. Welcome to the Hangout, my friend. Kansas, USA. WA5CBI, how do we communicate with you when you are live? Well, that's one thing. You can communicate through email. You can communicate through a comment. There's the email is officialshortwaveradio@gmail.com. You can leave a comment there just as you're on the video feed, and I'm going to view it here because I get it on my phone. So I get all these little messages like this on my phone while you guys are chatting away, sending comments. How much for the rabbit? It is beautiful. I love this rabbit. You know what? It has a very sentimental. It's not for sale at all, that's for sure, because this rabbit is the rabbit that my sister that passed away about 5 or 6 years ago. Easter was not very far from my birthday, so my sister decided to buy me a birthday present. And in the birthday present bag was this little rabbit because it was Easter. And so it now has a very, very important memory for me because, you know, it reminds me of my sister that passed away. So it's here to stay, that's for sure. But it's cute. Everybody that sees it says, "Wow, just so cute," and it is. And welcome to the Hangout. Hey, Robert from Philadelphia. And yeah, here it's rainy Montreal. So if you've got overcast Philly, well, here it's rainy Montreal, I can tell you that. Yeah, that's it. You know, 6100 for Serbia was, I'm not really sure. I've got so much noise that, you know, there's something on 6100 here. But it's in the noise. For me, it's in the noise. My noise level is so high on the 49-meter band. So, up 05. Let's tune the band here. Brother Scare on 11580 from WRMI in Florida. Hey, Mike Lee, welcome to the Hangout. Mike from England. Yeah, everything's fine, my friend. Everything's good. Always cool. Carl Car 93. What can you say about 4645.04 kilohertz? Not much. It's some kind of buzzer, or I'm not really sure actually. Hey, my friend, first time listener from Toronto, welcome. YYZ MEC. Welcome to the Hangouts. Nice to see you. Really, really cool. Duncan on Twitter says that he's hearing 11635 coming through strong, but fading is very bad. And I moved the radio, signals increasing. So yeah, that's human jamming on that frequency. So nice to have you on, my friend. So Scott Shannon, which is WA5CBI, nice to have you on. We have William Helms. Welcome to the Hangout. Says he's got his dad's 1970 Aircastle 136 M1 out last night, and it still works fine. It's all I have of his to remember him by. Lost him when he was 15 years old. Oh, wow, that's so sad. And still miss him every day. Thanks. Hey, Bill. You know, great people always leave a little too fast. Same for my my sister with this little rabbity. She was still young when she died, and so, you know, always sad to lose someone we love. I just did something that I don't know what I did. I just received a message that I've erased, so I'm sorry if somebody doesn't get his answer. I haven't had the time to watch, and I just kind of erased it. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I love the Indian music. 11670, which is All India Radio. 9445 also. man, their music is incredible. If you want to get exotic, just listen to All India Radio right now with the music, that Indian music they have. Andrew, no, I don't use a balun, and I get a lot of people that say that it should. And you know what? I will actually check into that because a lot of people say it does improve, and I want to try that. I want to make sure. But I'm going to start by reorienting. My antenna right now is north-south, so it means that it actually receives east and west. And I'm going to try to, I'm not going to take out this one. I'm just going to leave it like that, but remove it from the connector. And I'm going to put one which will be east-west. And I'm going to check out how it performs. If that it gives me a difference, I will always also be checking for the noise. I'll be comparing the noise. For the length, it should be pretty much the same, about 50 feet. But it's going really to be east-west orientation instead of north and south. So I'd be curious to see the difference, and probably gonna try to find some way of even if it's manually switching between one and the other and checking out the differences in the signals and see if it's worth it. Also, one of the things I was figuring out is that the houses right now, my north-south path means that the houses on each side are in the path of my reception because of the directional of a long wire. And I was thinking if I change the orientation, I will not have, the interference that comes from the homes will not be in the orientation that I receive signals. So I was wondering maybe it could lower the signal level. I'm not really sure. I don't know actually. Dennis is using a Radio Shack DX394 right now, and that's cool. You know what? One thing that I regret is the DX394 I could have had for something like $50 or $40 because when Radio Shack was closing here in Canada, one Radio Shack that I went to downtown still had a DX394, and they were like $30 or $40. It was like giving away. And the only reason I didn't buy it is when I've seen that radio back then, I remember I had no job, so I didn't want to spend $40 on something because I was already really, really short on cash. Radio Vanny Cuba in Spanish 11760.
Que abrirán sus puertas el 19 de abril para la primera vuelta de las elecciones, en las que concurrirán a las urnas más de 8 millones de votos. De ellos, más de 3.400.
Yeah, that's where I've heard you, Radio True North. I've heard you in the 6900 kilohertz pirate range at some point. Pretty sure. So it's nice. So nice. Dennis had the Cuban number station at S9, which is quite cool. Hey, Matthew, aka Swordsman007. Welcome, Matthew. Nice to have you back on the Hangouts. Really cool to have you on. So if I haven't mentioned your name, guys, be patient. It's just because with all the links that I use, I haven't come to your name yet. Dennis heard 9915 BBC. And it's so, but you can make out what they're saying. Here, 9915 has been a good one. You know, it's been a good frequency for the BBC to North America, to Montreal at least. Really was is nice that they use that frequency. I don't know how it's going to fare though. As the days get longer, I suspect that we're going to kind of lose it. So we're at 2200 hours UT, already 1 hour into this special tuning the band hangouts. Nice to have you guys around. Just checking out the schedules here from EIBI Space. What's interesting to listen to? Checking for English transmissions. 22 to 2300. Still have the BBC. Oh, KBS World Radio, Korea. Yeah. If you guys want to hear Korea direct, this is South Korea. KBS World Radio, 11810. In Europe, this is a transmissions for Europe. So you guys in Europe should hear it. And I hear it here. So KBS World Radio, and this is no relay, direct from South Korea. I love KBS World Radio. And by the way, you guys in North America, in the mornings, 1300 hours UT, they come in quite well on 15575.
From Seoul, Korea, KBS World Radio News starts right now. Yeah, the U.S. Secretary of Defense met with South Korean President Moon, presidential chief of staff denies receiving money from Pyongyang's debt, and the ocean industry finds countries that are working feasible. World Radio News
Yeah, Richard, about the antenna switcher. The problem here is because of the way I bring in my feed line, which has to go through the house. It's kind of complicated to put that here. If I would be really close and I could like bring in several different coax, I'd have an antenna switcher, but the only real easy place for me to switch an antenna would be outside, because I don't want to bring another feed line in. I already have 2 wires that's crossing the house. Hey, Sergio. Asking me why I don't try medium wave. A lot of radio stations from countries that not broadcast on shortwave. Well, first of all, my medium wave is horrible here. Medium wave is so noisy here that it's just impossible to DX countries. So I don't medium wave a lot, but I used to in the past. I remember hearing Norway on, I believe, was 13, 14 kilohertz, and a few other stations. I even heard Transworld Radio Bonaire on 800 kilohertz when here in Montreal we have a strong CJ80 800. But one night they were off for maintenance, and I remember hearing Transworld Radio 800 kilohertz coming through that evening, and I was amazed. Many years ago. But today I'm really incapable of doing any medium wave DX. There's just so much noise that I just can't do any DX on medium wave, unfortunately. And you know, even listening to a local medium wave station is difficult. So any of you guys hearing KBS World Radio on 11810?
Due to pressure from Seoul, attempted to launch the leaflets and DVDs uploaded the interview Thursday night, but was blocked by the police. Meanwhile, another defector group successfully sent leaflets and DVDs last weekend. Our Kim Young has more. North Korean defector groups that are
communication. First off, the South Korean police near the border city of Jeju on Thursday night over attempts to send anti-Pyongyang leaflets to North Korea. 5 civic groups, including Fighters for Free North Korea, and the U.S. Human Rights Foundation, had planned to send from the military demarcation line balloons to 200,000 anti-Pyongyang leaflets and 10,000 for people doing media interview. According to comedy, a lot of fictitious tried to kill North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The police explosively set highway arrest on the attached New York City out of concern that the act creates a love tunnel and endangered citizens living near the border. Last month, North Korea threatened to export to response to leaflet campaigns. After now long showdown with the police, President has summoned the fighters for free North Korea to the press briefing and said to go to retreat for now, but attempt to campaign at another time. Last Saturday, another detective.
Dennis says like 2 broadcasts on 11.75. Yeah, there are 2 broadcasts. There's
When the men are exalted.
it's kind of hard to say.
Today I use a few little things here and there.
Actually, what you're hearing, Dennis, I think, is the fact that we have 11.775, which is Anguilla, the island of Anguilla, and just above it is very strong. On 11.780 is Radio Nacional Amazonas from Brazil in Portuguese. And even on my ICOM, they clash. Try a test. Put your radio on 11.775. Put it lower sideband.
Small part of God's people. There are only a few. I remember some years ago.
And put it on 11.780 upper sideband.
Apresenta de uma Rousseff participou do fórum e afirmou que o Brasil vem investindo na integração regional com outros.
Actually interesting. We could see that Brazil's off by 100 hertz. It's on 11.780.1.
Como um fator que expande as nossas fronteiras.
President Chief Staff has been promoting claims that Lake China Enterprises chairman Wang Zhong has put them large sums of money, while Kim Ji-chun and Huk Tae-yeol are both named in the report. Flatly reject the claims. The opposition party is demanding that they reveal.
11.780 from Brazil is often. It seems like a little wide. It's always kind of clashing with the neighbors, and it actually has a lot of spurs. And Glenn Hauser, in his World of Radio program, has often mentioned the different spurs on the 25-meter band that are due to the Brazilian Radio Amazonas on 11.780. But if you like music, Brazilian music, in the evenings, 11.780 is amazing. For Brazilian music, it's fantastic. And it's always an amazingly good signal in North America. Eric at 5B says he's getting Korea quite weak in Glasgow. I'm going to check it out, 11.810 on the 20 receiver in the Netherlands, what it looks like. And web SDR, and maybe even have you guys hear how it is. 11.810. So this is from here. And from the Netherlands web SDR receiver, this is what it sounds like over there in ammo. There's a lot of interference. Actually, I have the impression that that in the Netherlands, it's not really much stronger than that I'm receiving it here. And not just that. It seems to be interfered with 11.820, which is Saudi Arabia. Andrew says Romania 7430. Let's try that. Yeah, it's not very strong here. It's there, but it's not strong here. I actually heard their transmission at 20, what was it, at 2030 UT. They have 30-minute to North America at 2030, and both 15170 and 13650 weren't that bad, actually. So let's try it at the Netherlands WebSDR receiver for, yeah, it's much stronger. This is how I get it. And this is Romania heard from the Netherlands receiver.
Slashes many taxes and might lead to an increased budget deficit, get us further away from this deadline set for 2019.
So you guys in Europe get a great reception of Romania on 7430. Let's try the 20, let's just end the 25-meter band, and I'm going to check out the 22 and 19-meter band also. By the way, if any of you guys hear something unusual and want to share it with us, please do. This is a place for that. Maybe somebody in Europe's hearing something that they want to share with our listeners or viewers. So 11915 is, I think, Saudi Arabia also with their Holy Quran. Just check that here. 11915. And yep, well, this is once again Saudi Arabia. They have many frequency outlets. 11930, which is Radio Mark T from the United States with some jamming from Cuba. Oh, Andre says listen to 4026 AM. Try that. It's a pirate from the UK apparently. So I'm going to go to the WebSDR once again and check that out.
Recordó que cuando el presidente llegó a la Casa Blanca levantó las restricciones de viajes a Cuba y ahora vemos a una gran mayoría que apoya la política de Obama hacia la isla.
Oh wow, coming in quite well there. So if you guys wonder, this is from the 20 receiver in the Netherlands. That's a UK pirate, and actually making it on into the Netherlands on 4026 AM mode. You guys in Europe, try that. 4026 kilohertz. Pirate station from the UK. Thanks, Andre, for letting everybody know. It's a 24/7 pirate. Can you know what? I'm intrigued by that. If 4026 AM is a 24/7 pirate, how come they don't get arrested or somehow? I'm intrigued by that, you know. I would think that in the UK they have laws against pirate stations. I would think so. Voice of Turkey English 9830, that is true. Let's try it out.
Accepts the invitation. According to the day, they said I think you will become a member of the group of consultants who will create a general path policy for Italy in the fields of clinical and biomedical.
Pretty good signal from 9830 radio Voice of Turkey 9830. And I believe this is for Europe and the eastern coast of North America at this time.
Turkey and world agenda. An important threshold has been left behind in the decade-old nuclear negotiations between P5 plus 1 countries and Iran. World powers, the US, Russia, China, England, France, and Germany have signed with Iran the framework agreement for...
Richard in Sherbrooke says that 11.810 from Korea is actually very strong there. A little bit of QRM from China. That's nice. Always fun. You know what? I like stations that use relays because obviously it makes, for good and easy reception on shortwave. But there's nothing like receiving a shortwave station directly from their own country. KBS World Radio direct from Korea, stuff like that is always fun. You're really receiving a signal that's from so far away. But of course, relays are also fun because they make for much easier listening. You know what? KBS in the morning here on the 15575, it comes in mostly if there's no geomagnetic storms or any solar flares, because when we get aurora borealis and geomagnetic storms, what happens is that KBS is washed out. There's nothing there. So it doesn't mean because you hear it today you'll hear it the next day.
As we look at the contents of the agreement, we see that both sides made critical concessions to reach this point, although the agreement is a matter of...
Thanks, Duncan. M6 AOC says that they have laws in UK, but enforcement is only carried out if it interferes with air traffic radio or someone makes a complaint. You know what? I think pretty much every country is like that. I think that even here in Canada, if there would be a pirate station, I think as long as there's no complaint, they wouldn't do anything. And there's a lot of out-of-banders here in Montreal, and I know for a fact, and I actually even know that some amateur radio operators go in the 11-meter out-of-bands, frequency between 27,405 and 28 megahertz, and actually call. And so I think as long as you don't interfere, they don't really do nothing. I remember once, there's this here. There's a Canadian International DX Club, and there's a Sheldon Harvey, which is the president. He was talking to Industry Canada. Industry Canada is the government side for radio. If you have an amateur radio license, it comes from Industry Canada, and they are the ones regulating interference, annoyances, and stuff like that. And he was talking about the electronic devices that do interference and all of that. And all he said was, you know what? We're like 3 guys for the whole of Canada. So what do you want us to do? We go to what's the most urgent and important things. So, it's not a priority. And you know what? I don't think complaining about interference because you're on shortwave radio is really something that's very important for these guys, unfortunately.
And Western countries have realized that the harder they clash with Iran, the more Iran increases its influence in the region. U.S. policies do not lead to regime change in Iran.
You know what? That's something that's interesting. I see these pirate stations on FM. Duncan's mentioning that in London, in the weekends, there's a lot of pirate FM pirates, and that they are operating at night. And you know what? I've never heard. I'm really telling you guys, I've never heard of FM pirate in Montreal. Never, ever. And I see that, like you guys in London, and I see that in the United States, especially in Florida, there seems to be a lot of FM pirates. I've seen a lot of, I remember in Monitoring Times, seeing these articles about law enforcement in the US you know, stopping by, you know, stopping a pirate station and, you know, giving a fine and so on. But there doesn't seem to be that type of activity here in Montreal. It's very, very weird. And maybe I should start it. I shouldn't say that on the air because a lot of people are going to say, hey, I know where you are. You know, why not? An FM pirate station. That'd be fun. I see myself doing one of those, that's for sure. So 9830 kilohertz, which is Turkey. Hey, Ethan Best, welcome to the Hangout. Nice to see you. Really, really nice to see you on. Dan Essex, UK Licensing Authority, Ofcom, focus on FM pirates, especially where the frequencies interfere with licensed stations. Yeah, I guess that would be the thing they would do, actually. And, you know, I guess even here, if we do a pirate station and nobody complains, they wouldn't do much, actually. Andrew says that he spent a few months in Turkey, beautiful country, even if the politics is a little fragile. Yeah, you know what? I like Turkey for one thing, but because being a country in the Arab world, it's really delicate balanced over there, and they try to keep, you know, that balance right, and I like that about Turkey. It's a really cool country for that. But it is very, very fragile. And you know what? In a country like that, anything that would make the population want to rise a little bit because of some measures or, you know, austerity measures and stuff like that would, I guess, be really, really, really delicate and, you know, can shift the balance of power to more radical groups.
Today in history.
Oh, really? Andre says that they were busted a few times. So they always come back? That's also intriguing, you know? They get busted, but they come back. That's, you know, I'd be busted once, and I would say, like, okay, my career as a pirate operator is over. I don't think I'd do it again.
This institution was named after the proclamation of the Republic of Turkey.
The radio web shop or shop in a radio shop in the Netherlands has its closing sale now, and it will stop after 2015, unfortunately. The good thing is that I was able to buy a brand new Rig Expert AA1010 analyzer for 40% discount. Yeah, you know what? Here in Montreal, we had 2 radio stores. When I started listening to shortwave, there was a store downtown called Radio Lorenz, which had a lot of gear, a lot of radio shortwave gear, including high-end radios. He was selling. I remember going there and drooling over the Kenwood R5000. I was about 16 or 17 years old, and that I eventually got a few years later. And he had portable receivers. And there was also an amateur radio store in Montreal, and both of them have closed. So there's no real place in Montreal to really buy amateur radio products, which is surprising considering that Montreal is a big city. You know, there's like, at least on the island of Montreal, we're about 1.5 million to 2 million, maybe 1.5 million. And you know, when you take in account the regions that surround Montreal, goes like to 3 million. So you know, it's surprising that such a big city does not have an amateur radio / shortwave store. There is, you know, like a web presence of Sheldon Harvey does have Radio HF, but it's kind of a web presence. I don't remember if I'm not sure that he still has a store per se that you go to view radios. So you know what I do now is if I want to buy a radio, or if I'm thinking of buying a radio, I go online and I buy from this Radio World, Durham Radio Cells. There's another one I think is in Trois-Rivières, which is Elkel or something like that. I'm not even sure they're still on. But there ain't anything here in Montreal where I can really buy something big. If I want to buy a radio like this, I can't buy it in Montreal. There's no place in Montreal that has one of those. I have to buy it online from a store in another city in Canada, which is very surprising, and it's a shame because, you know, it means that the hobby is slowly dying also. Yeah, you know what? On 106.7 FM, yeah, you remember, yeah. Dennis X says Radio Enfant, which enfant means child in English, and it's they were on 106.7, and you know what? They were kind of that was weird because that station 106.7. And yeah, he says 2009, which was probably, yeah, it was around the Christmas time that I heard that. And I remember hearing that and wondering where they were coming from. You know, it's been a long time since I've actually DX FM. I should do that. You guys are giving me the little idea that later on today, when the hangout's over, I'm gonna bring out my Super Radio 3, and I'm gonna tune slowly the FM band just by curiosity. Who knows? You know, it's like that I hear stuff. From time to time, you know, I'll start tuning a band, and surprising what you can hear. And yeah, 106.7 was one. I was amazed. It was really weak here, and it was a weak pirate. It was about 3. Let's see, here it was probably like 5 kilometers away. And I remember taking a little portable receiver and going out with earphones and trying to hear it while I was going. And it came out, if I'm not mistaken, it came out of a school. It was kind of a school project. And but they didn't kind of ask for a license or something. So it was like a pirate, basically. So but apart from that, I know, you know, there's not a lot of activity of pirate FM pirates here. It's a shame. I'd like to have that, you know, like a lot of people doing some pirate stuff on FM and whatever. You know what, if I'd lived like in a small town out of Montreal, I would probably have had a pirate station. So, oh, thanks, M6 AOC, Duncan, sending me a list of UK or London pirate stations. So, really nice. Thanks for the link. Really cool to have that.
Energy saving bulbs should be used instead of incandescent bulbs to save energy, and energy saving products should be used in oil fields.
As Richard says, for amateur products, you have Radio World in Toronto, McFarland Store, Durham Radio. Alkel is closed. Oh, it's closed? I thought I heard they were closing a year ago or two. So, okay. Well, you know, Radio World is pretty much where I buy stuff. Actually, when I want to buy something, and that's what I did with this. That's what I did with also my portable ICOM here, this one. What I did is I went to the internet and checked. What I do is I check the price between Durham Sales and Radio World, and so I buy it where it's the cheapest. I got this one at $499 at Durham Radio Sales. They didn't have it in stock, but it was $100 less than Radio World. So I thought, well, you know, $100, saving $100 is worth waiting for them to get it in stock. It didn't take that long. It took them maybe a week and a half before they got it and sent me this one. So I was happy, and you know, I paid $499, which was a very good price for this portable ICOM. So I'm happy to have bought it there. But you know what? This one, the ICOM ICR 8500, I bought at Radio World, and the reason I bought it is because when I was checking for receivers, it's usually always, and I checked a week or two ago, it is sold $2,100 in Radio World, and they still have it in stock because this radio is still being produced, by the way. And it was $2,100. But when I bought this, I went to Radio World, and they had, I don't know why, but they had some kind of sale, and it was $1,750. And I told myself, okay, $1,750. That's a good price for a brand new 8500. I'm gonna buy it. And you know, I just had my new credit card, you know, brand new shiny credit card. Oh man, credit cards. And so why not try my brand new credit card with a ICOM receiver? And that's what I did. So I bought it for $1,750, which was a good price actually. I've never seen such a low price for this receiver, brand new. You know, I mean, used, yeah, you can get it below $1,750 for sure. I've seen some on eBay for like 800, 700 or 800. So if you want to buy it used, you get it under 1,000. But I'm the kind of guy that, you know, when I want to buy something, I like to have it new. There's something about having a new receiver that nobody ever touched before. But it doesn't mean I don't buy used. You know, I like used. And I think when you don't have a lot of money, buying used receivers is actually quite good. You know, you save money, and you get the same receiver. If you buy this thing used for $600 or $700, you still have the same radio that I have, and you paid $1,000 less than I did. So you know, as long as it works, that's the important thing here, basically. What's the story? RCA224 says, did you see the movie It Follows? No, I haven't seen it. What was the story about It Follows? So thanks for, it's nice to see you back, my friend. No, I've not subscribed. You know what? I was a subscriber of Monitoring Times for a long time. And when I was not a subscriber, I would go downtown to La Maison de la Presse, and I would go get a copy, which was the only place in Montreal where they had a copy of Monitoring Times. And you know what? I loved Monitoring Times. It was the best radio magazine. You know, that Popular Communications wasn't too bad, but Popular Communications was not as good as Monitoring Times. Monitoring Times was amazing. And in the last 2 years, I was subscribing to the digital edition of Monitoring Times. So I had my magazine in my iPad every month. I did not know that the Spectrum Monitor, I remember the Spectrum Monitor, but I didn't know it replaced Monitoring Times. Huh, that's interesting. Are you subscribed to that? That's interesting. I'd like to, I'm going to check that out, actually. The spectrum monitor. Okay. Yeah, Harry Cat 5e is trying to tempt me, saying that there's a lot of 5 watt to 15 watt FM transmitters on eBay. But you know what? The problem is that they have to go through customs. And you know, if in the customs, if it stops there and you don't have a license, they don't let it go through. Oh, okay. I'm gonna check that. I wonder if it's on Netflix. By the way, talking about movies, has anybody ever looked? I watched the movie. It was on Netflix, I believe. I watched the movie, The Number Station, and you know, being a shortwave guy and knowing what these number stations are, I had to watch the movie. It's an okay movie, you know, but it was interesting. Um, it's not the best movie I've seen, but the fact that it had kind of a shortwave side to it, I kind of found it cute. You know, nothing extraordinary, but it's cute. Andrew says that the new ICOM 8500 is still around 1850 to 2000 in US dollars in Europe. Yeah, it is an expensive receiver. You know, one that I'm really find crazy is this one. The ICR20 is actually the lowest price that I've seen. I think is like 650, 700 bucks. I mean, I like my ICOM ICR20, but would I pay 650 for it instead of 499 like I did? I'm not really sure. I mean, it's a nice receiver, but whoa, 650, that's expensive for portable. You know, it doesn't have a lot of tuning features, but yeah, I did get a great price. I think 1750 for a used receiver, a new receiver. Sorry, I think for the ICOM is a good price. I really did have a good price, and you know what? That's what tempted me to buy it. If it would have been 2000 or more, I don't think I'd be having this receiver today. I'd be with something else, and I don't know what. But you know, I had some pressure also. I say that, but you know what? I had some pressure because my Kenwood R5000 was dead, and I really wanted to have a shortwave radio that was, you know, above average. It's, you know, I like my portables and everything, but I would not see myself listening to shortwave and DXing with this, even though this is a good radio, the PL600. I would not see myself DXing with the PL600. I've been hooked to the fact that I had an expensive receiver like the Kenwood R5000 that really was good. And I'm also hooked to the fact that I want to have a tabletop. I want a tabletop. I like tabletop receivers. So, you know, I say that I'm not sure, but at the same time, I didn't have any tabletops anymore. So maybe even at 2000, I would have bought it. Maybe I would have bought something else. I don't know. You know, there are others out there. The AOR, I think it was the 7030 or something like that. Looks nice, but you know, it's kind of I don't like plastic radios. This one is, you know, full aluminum metal casing, and it's nice. It's, you know, a nice finish, nice brushed aluminum finish. It's really cool. Hey, take care, Andre. Welcome to the Hangout. It was really nice to see you, and you take care. And you guys in Europe are late. You know, it's 22:39 UT, so you guys are getting close to midnight, if not more. So take care, my friends. Always a great pleasure to have you around. And you know what? We're gonna try something. You know, I'm gonna send you a little email, and maybe we can try something about advanced notice of some kind of pirate. Who knows? Would be fun. I think would be really fun. So, but you know what? Maybe one receiver that I would buy used, if I could get my hands on the Drake R8 receiver used, I would buy it probably. If I have the money, of course. I need to, you know, I can't buy off eBay. Radios off eBay are, I can't see myself buying something that's like $1,000 on eBay. For some reason, it's kind of scary to, you know, the most expensive thing I've bought on eBay of all, and the most expensive thing of all I bought on eBay is right here at the top, which is my, sorry for the, here, this. This is the Sangean WFR20 internet radio, and that was like 250. That is probably the most expensive thing I bought on eBay. You know, when I say that, I don't talk about internet. I would buy a $1,000 thing on the internet, and that's what I did with this. I ordered this over the internet, 1750. You know, from a well-known source. I bought my 50-inch HD TV off the internet on Amazon. But I would not see myself buying a used receiver that's $600, $700, $800 off eBay. For some reason, I find that scary. You know why? Because I want to see how it works. If you're about to buy something that's $600 or $700, I really want to see how it works. It's kind of important. You know, I bought a used Kenwood R5000 because when I bought that one, it was used. But at least, you know, it was a seller here in Montreal. I could go to his home. I could try it before I buy. So I knew it worked well. I knew it was okay. It's kind of scary, you know. I don't know. What would have bought? I don't know. But, you know, secondhand radios are really good. Mike Lee says, if I get a secondhand radio, I give it a through clean. I feel better about it then. Yeah, that's also, you know, I'm not that kind of guy that's, you know, germs problem. You know, it's I'm not really freaking out about germs or anything. But you know what? There's also something about getting a used radio from someone else. I don't know, you know, somebody else touched it. It's like it feels weird. But you know, you get used to it. You know, I had some used receivers, and you get used to it. But I don't know. Is it me? Am I crazy? There's something about, you know, when you get a used radio from somebody else. It's like, I don't know. I was gonna say something that's kind of a little maybe a little extreme. It's like, you know, it's like, I don't know. The radio's not a virgin anymore or something. I don't know. It's really, really weird. Okay, Richard, thank you. That would be nice. I'm gonna check that out. Merci. That would be nice. Spectrum monitor. Eric at 5E says, I don't think there will be complaints because most shortwave listeners are happy if they receive a pirate station. Well, you know what? You think that, but you know what? I've actually got some hate mail because I post videos of pirate stations and of out-of-band. I call them out-of-band CBers, but out-of-banders. And you know what? I really do get hate mail. I got hate mail from amateur radio operators that told me that I was dumb to put illegal activity on my channel. And I can even tell you that I've had my channel flagged once by someone that actually complained to YouTube about it. And it doesn't, I'm not going to stop posting this stuff because of that. That's for sure. The only scary thing is that, when YouTube flags something, you get 3 chances. And after 3 flags, they delete every video on your channel. The good thing about it is that it lasts only 6 months. So, I got a flag somewhere in July of last year because I posted a video of a pirate station, and somebody complained. I don't know who, but I have an idea. 2 days before, I had hate mail from an amateur station in Texas saying that I was dumb to post pirate stuff. And I'm the kind of guy that's relaxed in general. But if you throw a punch at me, I throw a punch back. I'm the kind of guy that's like that. So if you tell me that what I do is dumb, I'm probably gonna tell you something that you won't like. And especially if you can't, I have no problem if you argument with me, or if you tell me, if you have an intelligent conversation of why I should not post something like that. At least there's an intelligent conversation going on. But if the only thing that you post is you are dumb to post pirate stuff, that's illegal, and that's it. That's the only comment you'll leave on the channel. First of all, I'm gonna probably block you, and I'm gonna probably delete the comment. And 2 days after, I had a red flag on my channel, which was removed in, I think it was January, because it was 6 months later, January or February. Having a flag here and there doesn't matter, and it doesn't bother me. But it does bother in some things. You know what? If I have a flag on my channel, I can't post videos that are longer than 15 minutes anymore. So posting a more than 15-minute video means hangouts can be removed after I've done them live, because they are more than 15 minutes. So I got to be careful. But there are some people complaining that I talk about pirate activity, that I talk about out-of-band transmissions. It's crazy world out there. You got to really be careful. You think that nobody cares, but somebody does care somewhere. And when you start doing things, it's really, really, really crazy what happens. You know what? I've got a lot of YouTube channels, and I can tell you hate mail is a lot of, there's a lot of hate mail. And you know what? The problem with YouTube is that guy or girl, but it's mostly guys probably, that sends you that hate mail, he's secure. He's behind a computer screen somewhere else. He knows that I can go to his home and do something. So he feels secure, and that's why he sends you hate mail. But you know what? I can bet you that same guy would be in front of me and would never, never, never do that, because he would be too scared to say it to my face. Fortunately, the internet's a little bit like that. There's a lot of trolls on the internet, and I get hate mail for posting videos of all sorts of things. Some that I left, some I left there on the channel because one guy posted something. I don't remember exactly what, but I left a message there and the comment, and I just said, you know what? All you are doing now is showing how dumb you are to all my users, because I know all my users figured out that you're dumb and I'm not. It's just crazy out there. Matthew says, dude, amateurs can be so crazy sometimes, especially for newbies. It's really hurting the hobby. Yep. You know what? That's also something that I hate. A amateur radio guy that's, you know, like, been doing that for 40 years and is going to start telling me that it's a shame that, you know, the newbies should have that amateur radio Morse code and so on. I had, you know, they had that and they wanted to stay like that. One thing that I am totally in agreement with is that we got to be with the times. If you want to have amateur radio to continue, you got to make things easier. You have to. You know, I mean, Morse code is nice and everything, but maybe just keep it for the people that want to be in a higher class amateur radio, you know, range, have more frequencies and power and stuff like that. It's okay. But I think to have the first license without having to do Morse code helps people go into the hobby. And you know what? A part of those people will continue on. Some will go get that Morse code because they find it cool. As the same thing, you know what? When I was in the 80s, relays were not used. In the 80s, you'd hear Radio Beijing, which is China radio, direct. You'd hear NHK Tokyo, Radio Japan, direct. Relays were not something that was used back then. Today, there's a lot of relays as stations. And you know what? I think it's okay. Because if we want to keep our shortwave hobby alive, we got to have stations that are easy to hear. It's very important. Very, very important. And, you know, that's something that we got to work for, to make sure that newbies don't find that, you know, they are kind of excluded. You know, I've been to so many shortwave listening activities, you know, going to club meetings, to some shortwave. We had a few shortwave radio listening fest here in Montreal that were organized by the Canadian International DX clubs. We had some, you know, public club meetings at all sorts of places. And you know what? I hated those all the time. You know what? When you're a new guy in town, nobody knows you, and you're a newbie. I would say that there's a big part of these guys that are like, I've been listening for 30 years. I know what I'm talking about. And, you know, they're not listening to you and they don't really care. There are these great people, you know. I'm that kind of guy. Those guys that just want to help. You know, I remember being at the Radio Shack store and a guy bought a Grande Yacht Boy 200 or 400. Sorry, it was 400. Grande Yacht Boy 400. And the guy didn't know a thing about shortwave. And I actually, while I was there, pointed to him that there was a book, because that was the year when the book, The Passport to All Band Radio, existed. And I remember saying to the guy, you know what? You should buy this book, because this book will help you learn and know where and when to listen to. And I even gave him my phone number, and he actually called me. And I went, you know, one or two evenings, spent a couple of hours showing him what he could hear and talking to him about, you know, daytime, nighttime reception, stuff like that. I'm that kind of guy. But unfortunately, in our hobby, there's a lot of guys that are, you know, think they are better than everybody else. And that is really the kind of attitude that I don't like about, you know, amateur radio operators and shortwave listeners in general. Yeah, don't worry, Eric Cat 5e. I'm just going to ban you from the channel. No, it's a joke. You just you played me a joke and said kind of send it. Okay, I'm going to complain about something, and he says, "Oh, you know, it's a joke." Yeah, it's a joke. Don't worry, I know that. Yeah, Mike Lee says there's nothing like a new radio. Yeah, that is true. You know, I don't know, buying something new, a new radio out of the box. You know, the unboxing experience. You know, getting that box, you open it, the radio's inside with all the foam and everything's like neatly placed. The little booklet is, you know, in a little plastic bag. There's something cool about that, having really, really, you know, a new radio to do something. So it is cool to have a new radio. It's always fun, you know. I every time I bought a radio, I was just so excited. I remember when I got this one. First of all, I knew it was arriving the next day. And a funny little story about this radio. I bought it. I knew I had it the next day. And when Canada Post, the guy came, and you know, I saw him go and give a package on the other side of the street. And when I looked, he went back to his truck and he just drove away. And I was like, oh, darn, I'm not going to have it today. I thought I was going to have it today. And about an hour and a half later, the doorbell rang, and it was the same Canada Post guy. And he tells me, you know what? I had this big box, and it was the Icon box. And it was so big that I put it in the back of the truck. And when I passed here on the street, I forgot about it. So when I was here earlier, I forgot that I had this package to deliver here. So he came back an hour and a half later to deliver it. It was just so funny. And so, you know, my sadness became happiness. And man, you know, I'm just so happy. It is true that a really nice radio is fun. Yeah, Andrew says new all the way. Yeah, that's true. Andrew says, yeah, supported comments about those nut bands. Yeah, fortunately, you know, that's the way it is on some, on pretty much every hobby. You know, if I look at my, you know, I fix computers, and you know what? There's a lot of nut jobs in computers as well, you know. William Helm says AOR alpha, but you have to be law enforcement. Dream radio, nevertheless. Let me check about that radio. There's no radios you cannot buy here in Canada. I don't know about regulations in other countries. I know that some countries prevent some receivers from being bought. Check what that is. Oh, that is nice. AR alpha receivers. AOR alpha. Professional grade. Yeah, you know, I could buy one of those without with no problem. 10 kilohertz, 3500 megahertz. Does look really nice. Wow. AR alpha professional grade communications receiver. What is the price on that thing? Must be quite expensive. Here in Canada, we can buy pretty much any receiver. There's no limit on you know, frequency coverage or anything. By the way, this is what the ICOM calls this one the government export, because this usually is sold to government only. But here in Canada, the laws let us have any type of receivers. So this receiver is okay here. There's no problem with that. Really no problem here. So let's check out who, did I miss anyone here? Andrew, exceptions for being those rare gems found in the flea market for 20 bucks. Still waiting for that. You know what? I missed on one of the really nice receivers. A friend of mine has an Yaesu FRG7, and I was supposed to go to the flea market that day, and I didn't. I couldn't go because I had to work. And he came back home and he told me, "Hey, I got an FRG7 receiver," and he paid, I think, was $70. And I looked at the radio and I said, man, $70, I'd buy that anytime. And it was in perfect working order. It was really clean. Man, should have gone to that. I really should have gone to that flea market, man. It was really amazing. Yeah, there are a few. Harry Cat 5e says he's got a thing about, the retro style shortwave, the new retro style shortwave radios. It's true, I am a big fan of big radios. Say what you want. One thing that's for sure is that I like big radios. It's really nice, I mean, it's cool. It's nice to see the technology of these new, these little thin portable receivers. That's just fantastic. And I mean, that's cool. That's really cool. I mean, look at that. Technology today is really nice, But that said, if you give me a nice big radio, it's even better. I like huge radios. I miss the days where portables were big. I miss the days where even tabletops were bigger than they are today. Today, everything needs to be small. And I know that electronics is small, but I don't know. Just put tiny electronics in a big box, I'm going to be happy, maybe. It's fun to have a big radio. So, hey, Radio True North, got to run. Take care, my friend. It is always nice to see you. And, yep, I am going to send you an email, promise. And it's going to be really cool. And maybe we're going to talk a little bit and have a little fun. One frequency where you can see dumb amateur radio operators, and it's always the case on the 20-meter amateur band. If you go on 14.313 upper sideband, just leave the radio there, and you'll hear all these cuckoo's nest amateur radio operators. This is even worse than a CB frequency. I can tell you that. This is really something. I mean, there's music. The other day I was listening, there was like Lady Gaga music on that frequency. Another time I was listening, there was like this guy making farm animal noises. 14.313. You guys have to do that. Listen in the afternoon, a full day. Just leave your radio on 14.313 and upper sideband. You're going to be surprised. By the way, I just want to say something. It's very windy right now outside, and I've noticed that my lamp has been like going a little bit dim from time to time. So if you lose me, it's probably because the power was out. The good thing about it, if the power goes out, I'll be listening to this receiver with my battery because noise is going to be gone. So if you lose me, don't worry. It's maybe there could be a power outage. Today we're supposed to have up to 100-kilometer-an-hour winds here in Montreal this evening, so it's gonna be bad weather. Yeah, 3875. Matthew says 3875. The real crazies. Yeah, they are pretty weird. All amateur radios also that are AMers, the ones that want to stick to AM mode on the amateur band, they're always a little weird also. Paul Andrews, welcome to the Hangout, says, have you seen the new Texan PL680? The Texan PL680, I'm just going to check. I'm not sure. PL680. I have, just want to see. It's a new number to me. 680. I've not really checked it out. 680. Let me just, I want to see a picture of that. But somebody here, just going to check out. Oh, it looks nice. It looks really nice. Huh. 680. I've not checked that, my friend. This is new to me. 680. I'm checking out the radio right now. Looks nice. It got the air band. It's got single sideband synchronous detection, shortwave, medium wave, long wave, deconversion, 2000 memories. Wow. Nope, I haven't seen that, my friend, and I haven't heard of it. It's probably quite new, right? I haven't checked Texan radios in a while, but that looks like a nice radio. eBay. I'm gonna check on eBay how much the Texan PL 680 is. Texan PL 680. Oh boy. Okay, this is better. No, this is 660. Wow. Texan PL 680 portable word band receiver, AM, FM, SSB, VHF air band. Just can't believe my eyes. 350 Canadian dollar. That's an expensive portable radio. Buy it now. 351 Canadian dollar. Means it's probably about 300 US dollars. 280. It's expensive. Wow. Comes from United Kingdom. I've not tried that actually. Really intriguing me here. I'm gonna have to check that out and see. There's only one seller for it though. Huh. Anybody has seen somebody use it? I've not actually checked that out. Matthew says he wants a Zenith cabinet radio with tubes and everything. You know what? There's a flea market maybe 20 minutes from where I am. And it's, you know, those really ancient flea markets where you get really old stuff. And actually, they have a guy selling old tube receivers. And I was really tempted because a few months ago I went there and I saw a Zenith Transoceanic tube radio. And I could have got it for $100. And man, I really wanted to. I really, really wanted to. These are nice radios. I can tell you that. I really can tell you that. So I'm going to tune the 19-meter band a little bit. We're going to check what's there at this time. It's 2300 hours UTC. And we're going to close the hangout soon, because I see that there's not a lot of people left watching. We're going to just... Mike Lee says he's heard the idiots on 14313. Yeah, that's incredible. 14313 is a cuckoo's nest channel. It's that frequency where I think all the nut jobs are. Eric at 5E says he'd like a Nikon tabletop like mine. Check it out, you know. Go to hey Ernie Turner, welcome. I'm just gonna, you know what, check out flea markets and stuff like that. It's surprising where sometimes you might actually find such a radio. You know, this one is expensive, but you know, I'm happy to have it because it has a wide coverage. You know, it goes up to 1999 megahertz. I can go to 1999, 1999. Here we go, 1999, 999, almost 2 gigahertz. So it has a very wide coverage actually. And this one is the government export, so it doesn't have any cut frequency ranges in it also. So it's a nice radio. Look at, you know, flea markets, look on the internet. You never know. Maybe one day you can find one for a price that you can afford, and you'll get one, you know. Hey, Ernie Turner, welcome. Nice to get email notification. Thanks for the elitist that gets in all pursuits, but we're all newbies at the start. Always try to pay it back, as I was helped in 1977. Yeah. You know, the first time you get your shortwave radio, you have no idea how it works. And if there's one hobby that's a little complex, it is shortwave radio. And I think helping everybody is nice. Bye, Richard. Thanks for being there. It was nice to have you around. Have a nice supper. We're about to stop soon. 680 looks like a cross between the 600 and 660. Yeah, actually, I'd say that it's more of a cross between the 660 and the 880. But it's really expensive. I'm surprised at the price of that thing. But it does look nice. But if I had a choice, I'd choose. You see here, there's a 880. I'd get the 880 probably. But you know what? The Canadian dollar dropping, a Texan PL 880 would cost me $240 Canadian. That is a little expensive for a portable. You know, there's kind of a price limit I want to pay a portable receiver. If I have to go to 250, 300. I would probably go more to a some kind of tabletop like the Alinco DX R8 or something like that. So what's on the 19-meter band before we leave our hangout? WWV on 15 megahertz.
At the dome, 23 hours, 12 minutes, coordinated universal time.
It's like a mix of two stations on 15190. Hey, take care, Duncan. I realize that it is late where you are. It says that it's midnight 11 there. Time for bed. Thank you very much for the kind comments. Always nice to have you around. And here it's still early, and we're at 7 p.m. So it's early evening. I'm gonna go get myself some lunch in a few minutes, and probably watch a little bit of TV, and maybe do a little FMDX. Who knows? Maybe I would hear an FM pirate tonight. 15190. It's interesting. There's like two stations mixed in right now. And there's Radio Africa, which is from WRMI transmitters. And I think it's Radio Inconfidencia from Brazil that's actually making the interference on 15190. Radio Havana, Cuba on 15230. Oh, nice signal with music on 15345, which is Radio Argentina al Exterior. So if you want to hear Argentina, try 15345 with music right now. They are in Spanish language. And some very nice Argentinian music probably here. Matthew says he loves Texan. Yeah, you know what? I love Texans. I've not had a bad radio from Texan, basically. They seem to have some kind of control over what they actually put out as receivers. And all the Texan receivers I've had were actually good radios, which is nice. It means they have some minimum quality in their radios. It's really cool. And yep. And you know what? A lot of Grundig / Eton receivers are Texan receivers, by the way. Says he's finally caved and got the Sony 7600 with the active loop antenna. Awesome setup for 100 250. Yeah, that's a nice radio. The Sony 7600 is really nice. And you know, I always have this little temptation, and actually it dropped to 149.99 here in Canada on Amazon.ca, the Sony 7600. And man, I wanted to have it. It is a nice radio, and with the active antenna, loop antenna, I think it's a cool buy. I think it's a great radio, by the way. So hey guys, I'm gonna let you go. I've been at it for what, 2 hours and 15 minutes tuning the bands. It was really nice to see you. It was really nice to have you guys around. Thanks for being there. It's always a pleasure to have you guys, by the way. And take care. Hope everything is well where you are. Keep listening to Shortwave, and hope to see you soon. Don't forget our next official hangout, which is Sunday, April 19th at 2000 hours UTC. So it's not this Sunday, it's next Sunday. And who knows, in between, might have another unofficial hangout. And by the way, also, if you have a VHF receiver this weekend, the International Space Station is starting slow scan television transmissions, 145.800 megahertz. And all you have to use is even a cheap little scanner like this one with telescopic, with that rubber duck antenna is enough to receive it. All you have to do is just put that earphone jack, a wire that goes to your computer, install MMSSTV software that is free, and you'll be decoding pictures from the International Space Station in slow scan TV. So don't forget about that. So take care, guys. It's always a pleasure. If you want to send me an email, officialshortwaveradio@gmail.com, and you can also be added to my notification list. I send an email every time I start a hangout, about an hour and a half before. And there's the Twitter feed at Shortwave Radios with S. There's many radios, no Z, at Shortwave Radios. And of course, I post videos on my channel. So take care, guys. It was really nice to have you around, and hope to see you soon.